In today's thrift store challenge, we will be headed off to Target to look at the new Studio MCGEE line as well as the MCGEE Co website to get loads of inspiration, and then we are headed off to the thrift store to see what we can come up with for a whole lot less. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Starting off with some new lighting options from the Studio MCGEE line through Target. I really like the lighting that she dropped in this latest drop. I love this table lamp here, but it is $90. And I think you're better off finding something to DIY from the thrift store that's just a lot more affordable. Most recently though, I've been loving the floor lamps through the MCGEE Co website. It's just these small little details that just make all of the difference. And even at affordable home decor stores like Target, a floor lamp can cost you upwards around $80 to $100 for just a basic floor lamp. Recently at the Goodwill, I found this floor lamp. Now, I was not crazy for the shade, but I loved the scale. It was quite tall for even just your average floor lamp, and because our ceilings are a bit taller, I thought this would make the perfect addition to my living room space, and it was only $10. Moving along now into ceramics, which is always my favorite selection from the Studio MCGEE line. I think they give you a lot of really great options that look like designer pieces, but at a much more affordable price point. But even at that affordable price point, I still think you can find better pieces that are more unique at the thrift store. But while I'm in Target, I'm paying attention to the colors they're using, the shapes, the sizes. Another ceramic option that I recently found at the Goodwill bins was this really beautiful armed jug vase. Now, the thing about these vases, this guy was just actually $3, a little over $3 because everything is priced by the pound. Now, here's my issue with these vases, because the scale, you think it's great, it's a nice big vase, but these vases are often too big to be styled on a coffee table or on a bookshelf, and they're too small to be floor vases. But what these vases are the perfect size for are entryway tables or plinth tables or above a fireplace. So before I get into DIYing anything, I just want to do a quick check on Google just to make sure I'm not going to DIY over anything that's of any value. First, we're just going to clean the vase off really well before we apply our paint. And because I just wanted this vase to be very neutral, I just went in with this flat khaki camouflage spray paint. I think somewhere along the way, we all thought that we needed to distress and age absolutely every piece of pottery, but sometimes it's just nice to keep it nice and simple. I wanted to pick a color that goes with my space kind of year round, so that way I wouldn't grow tired of it. Just doing several light applications of spray paint until the vase was completely covered. Grabbed some branches from outside, filled a glass with water, and this was the end result. Let's talk about now some of the new marble pieces that were dropped through this latest collection. There was this little marble-based side table, and it was nice, but it just seemed a bit short for my personal liking. Also, there were, certain ceramics painted to look like marble. I'm not crazy about that look either. And a lot of red marble, which I know a lot of people really love. I just don't think it's as timeless as your classic kind of marble colors. In last week's video, I showed you guys these nightstands that I made using porcelain tile to kind of make plinth style marble nightstands. And you guys had a ton of questions about those nightstands. So I've been meaning to make one of these that was a bit larger. So in order to do this, I needed to use a tile that was larger. So I used this large format porcelain tile. I grabbed 5 tiles total, as well as 2 4x4s that were 8 feet long. I had my measurements already when I went to Home Depot, so they were able to cut my 4x4s down, and that way it made it easier to fit in the car. So in order to figure out how much space you're gonna need in between each of these 4x4s, you're going to need to combine the width of the 2 4x4s together and then subtract it from the width of each of your tiles. Whatever that number is what you then need to make your spacers. So taking scrap 4x4, I'm going to measure out 8.75, make my marking there, grab my straight edge, and then I'll take that out to my miter saw and cut that twice. And this is really just to make sure that I'm distancing everything appropriately and everything will stay nice and straight. To attach our 4x4s together, I took some scrap wood and used my nail gun to attach these pieces both at the top and at the bottom of each of the 4x4s. Once those are secure and in place, I just removed my clamp and then went to repeat that process onto the next set of 2 4x4s. So at this point, you should have something that kind of looks like this. These pieces are not yet connected, but we'll connect them the same way that we connected these 2 pieces, with one piece here, one piece at the bottom, one piece there, one piece at the bottom. So again, taking my spacers, I'm going to make sure that I have a spacer at the top and at the bottom to connect everything together the same way, using scrap wood and my nail gun until everything is one kind of solid piece. So the structure is done, and now it's just time to add our tiles. So I started this time by adding the tiles all around the sides. To attach each tile to our wooden box frame, I just did so using a Gorilla Glue that's specifically designed to work with tile. So whenever you're choosing an adhesive, just make sure it's compatible with all of the materials used for that project. I then placed each tile on top of the adhesive and then clamped it down for at least 6 hours, but for some of them, I did leave them on overnight. Once all of the sides were on, I was then able to kind of take a look and see how much of the tile I was going to need to cut off, so that way our tile piece can kind of sit inside of the 4 sides. So I just took some measurements, made my markings. I used my straight edge and some clamps to get a nice straight cut with this dry tile saw. Thankfully, it was kind of the perfect fit. Before placing it in there, again, used that same Gorilla Glue adhesive and placed it on top. I just painted the grout using some grout specific paint and then just added a base to the bottom using some scrap trim. I painted that black as well, and this was the end result. Next up, let's talk florals. So one thing with this last drop was all of the wreaths, which I would have to say that this is probably the best selection Studio MCGEE has done with their wreaths. I really liked the feel of this wreath here. I also loved this really beautiful kind of rust colored velvet ribbon that was just in a slouchy bow, which is always her favorite and also my favorite. And while at the Goodwill bins, it was not a faux floral, but I believe these are dried magnolia leaves, and these can be quite costly. Actually, the tag on the back said that this wreath was $85 and I only paid $4 for it. Comparable wreaths online charge over $100, so I felt that I was able to get a really good price by shopping secondhand. Another thing I always like to check is the ribbon section of my thrift stores and also at the Goodwill bins, because you can find really great ribbon and it's always going to be more affordable than anything you would pay for at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So I found just enough to make one bow for this wreath here, attached it with some heavy duty wire, tied it in a kind of slouchy bow. I then just needed to steam the ribbon because it had been kind of crinkled in the bag. So I just used my steamer just to kind of steam that down, and this was the end result. Moving right along now into some textile options. So Studio MCGEE always does such a great job because I think she has a lot of love for vintage textiles, and that really shows through even with the Target line. I think they do a really good job of their textiles specifically. Patterns you can expect to see through this line are of course plaid, a lot of linear fabric, and then of course a vintage kind of floral as well. But I still think that you can find really great pieces at the thrift store, and of course they're just going to be so much more affordable. I find Threshold pillows, I find Studio MCGEE pillows all the time at my Goodwills, at my thrift store. Most recently, I found this one here at the Hartville thrift shop, and it was just $3, and it had a zipper, so I was able to wash it really well. I'm not totally sure which collection this specific pillow was part of, but I'm so happy I was able to thrift it because it was a major savings, and I think it's a good kind of year-round staple textile. Another textile I found at the Goodwill bins was this pillow cover, and it reminds me so much of this Our House floor pillow, the pattern does. And I found this chair on Facebook Marketplace for just $5. The shape of this chair reminds me so much of one chair from the MCGEE CO line. Started off by just removing the seat cushion from the chair frame using a flathead screwdriver until it just kind of popped off. Removed the fabric and the cushion that were on this existing kind of base. I then took the chair frame outside, just kind of sanded down some of the areas that were a little scuffed up after putting a little bit of wood filler down, and then wiping the whole thing down with just some Totally Awesome from Dollar Tree, because I actually feel like it's a really good degreaser. Once the chair was totally filled in and cleaned, I then just went in with a black flat primer, and then I went in with some satin black spray paint. For the seat part of the chair, because I had removed the upholstery and the cushion, I just wanted to unify everything and also paint it black as well. So I sanded that part down, and then I again took that satin black paint to the seat part of the chair. Once that part had dried, I just connected the two pieces together. When it comes to the cushion, I wanted to make this pillow cover instead now into a chair cushion. Studio MCGEE does that a lot with kind of their very basic chairs. They add these just kind of simple patterned chair cushions, and it just totally, for me, changes the look of the chair. Taking my sewing scissors, I'm just going to remove a few stitches from each of the corners so I can feed the straps through my existing chair cover, so that way it can just wrap around the back end of the chair. And one kind of vignette you'll see a lot from the Studio MCGEE line is you'll oftentimes see just kind of a one-off chair with a couple pieces of some small artwork above it, or even some little plates, and it just creates such a nice little moment there. So I wanted to create something similar in my space, but so much more budget friendly. Next up, let's talk about some wall decor options. I really liked a few of the pieces from this latest drop here. I loved this sketch here. It's just really nice and simple. It has kind of a vintage quality to it. And $32 isn't all that bad, but I think you can probably find a frame at the thrift store and then maybe sketch something yourself or download something off of Etsy, and you can probably get a really similar look for like about $5. I also really loved that kind of asymmetrical mirror there, but I always seem to have luck at my local thrift shop, the Hartville thrift shop, finding really beautiful mirrors that are so affordable. This Hearth and Hand mirror was originally $59.99 and I paid $4 for it. If you know anything, Studio MCGEE likes to mix styles often, so having a really modern piece like this mirror combined with a more vintage piece like the chair and the cushion, it's kind of the perfect blend of mixing vintage and modern. Last but not least, let's talk about candles and candle holders. Now, I had no idea what a blushed tonka smelled like, so I'm glad I had the privilege of going to Target to be able to decide that I can find really great smelling candles at the thrift store for so much more affordably. But I do love these candle holders here. There's something that feels very vintage about these here from the MCGEE Co line. And then now with this latest drop, it's just an all glass kind of similar version of it. And this is something I see very often, but more specifically in the Goodwill bins or in the Christmas section of your thrift stores. And this guy at the Goodwill bins cost me less than $1, placed a candle inside, and it was a much more affordable option than shopping even through the Target line. Another piece I found was this. Now, I'm not sure exactly what this is, but it does fit a tapered candle pretty perfectly. And I thought, wouldn't that be so cute in like a bathroom? You stick your little hand towel in there and you could pop a candle in there. Like, what a cute moment. But I thought it would be even cuter if we could, instead of a candle, put a little glass vase and use it as a kind of like bud vase wall decor piece. Now, I did try to do the trick of the salt and vinegar to kind of naturally at home patina the brass. It did not work for me. It ended up turning the piece this pink color, so I think I must have missed something when I did this project. So what I decided to do was just combine black paint with some rub and buff in the color Gold Leaf, and I then just applied it with my finger until it was completely covered, and then I dusted it with some green spray paint, just some matte green spray paint to just kind of give that patinaed look. Added my glass vase and floral in there, and this is how it turned out. And that really wraps it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments which project, which hack, which find was your favorite, and I will see you guys next Sunday. Bye for now.